We're here to talk about the Thai police today.
มีความไม่เป็นธรรมบางอย่างกำลังเกิดขึ้นในวงการตำรวจ
ฟ้องอยู่แล้วแต่อัยการรับไม่รู้
I remember distinctively watching TV with my dad in 2006. I was 21. The military had just staged yet another coup, overthrowing the very popular elected government. A coup that was not supposed to happen again. I remember my dad saying, "They've murdered democracy." The word murder stuck with me. My dad is not a dramatic person, and for him to use such a strong word for something that seemed to be sort of a norm in this country was unusual. But what is the logical thing to expect when a murder occurs? One turns to law enforcement, of course. You report it to the police. But what happens when the police are in fact it? Nowadays, I completely get what he meant by murder. They're not just plain murderers, but serial killers, Dad. 13 times. The saddest thing for me is seeing these murderers enjoying themselves, reaping the benefits from their crimes among themselves. Unchecked and unexplainable wealth, bending or simply breaking any rules that inconvenient them, locking up or intimidating anyone who dares question them. And what do you do when those who are supposed to be the first responders in ensuring the rule of law decide to become the criminals themselves? What do you do when you report a murder to the murderer? What happens is you get criminals role-playing as law enforcement. They said coups are staged to fight corruption, all 13 of them.
คณะรักษาความสงบแห่งชาติ
ให้ทุกคนตั้งอยู่ในความสงบ
Every police commissioner counting back 10 years are millionaires. Not just a couple of million, but hundreds of millions in wealth. An ex-deputy police commissioner was on the Forbes list while still in service. 10 billion net worth. If one doesn't mind the concept of unexplainable wealth, becoming a police officer in Thailand seems like a great career choice. In Thailand, wealthy police officers date movie stars and celebrities. They drive supercars, show off their massive homes and luxury watches on social media. Their children are, of course, accepted into the highest society circles. They mingle with children of politicians, bankers, other billionaires, and so on. You know the type. I don't know why we're cool with this. It's not normal. After 8 long years under this dictatorship, things have seemed to spiral out of control, if there is still such a thing called control within the Thai police force. 2 years ago, during a censure debate in parliament, it was revealed that police officers can advance up the ranks by buying tickets. These tickets are called the elephant ticket. The money goes up the ladder, feeds into the pockets of those granting these promotions.
ยอมให้นายตำรวจที่ไม่ผ่านหลักเกณฑ์ให้กลายเป็นผู้เหมาะสมกลายเป็นแคนดิเดตที่จะเข้าชิงตำแหน่งสำคัญในวงการตำรวจได้
Each ticket costs from hundreds of thousands to millions of baht. And where do you think the money for these so-called elephant tickets come from? Or the case of Joe Ferrari, a former police station chief in Pisanulok province, well known for his wealth, flashy supercars, and dating Thai superstars. He was caught on police station CCTV murdering a suspect by suffocating the victim with plastic bags, attempting to extort 2 million baht. They tried to explain the death as an amphetamine overdose. But of course, it was caught on camera, and there is always someone delighted to take the boss's place.
พูดอะไรสักนิดไหมคะหลังจากที่ได้สนใจกันเสร็จแล้วค่ะ
Every now and then, a good cop surfaces, but it's not easy being one of the good apples or fish. If you're using Thai terms, we don't eat apples here, so our analogy of a bad apple is a bad fish. Okay, back to the good cop. Police Major General Praveen Pongsirin, lead investigator in one of the largest, most brutal cases of human trafficking of Rohingya. The trafficking ring was exposed in the early days of the coup back in 2014. His straightforward, bullish investigation had implicated high-ranking military officers, politicians, and, of course, high-ranking police as well. The usual suspects, the major ones, as Thai people would put it.
แล้วเดี๋ยวคุณก็มาตีว่าไอ้ดิบเป็นทหารมันมีกี่คนมันมี 4-5 แสนคนโน่นไอ้มนัสอีกคนเดียว
In 2015, Mr. Praveen fled Thailand seeking political asylum in Australia. after being swiftly removed from the case and officially transferred to a post in the deep south of Thailand, where human traffickers operate with the protection of state officials. Only a few have been convicted in this case of the Rohingya mass grave. Since then, and of course, the main culprits are still out and about, enjoying their power and privilege. I guess this is what you get trying to do your job. But is this an excuse to not do your job? Is this an excuse to forsake being a decent human being?
เนี่ยคือรางวัลที่ทำเพื่อประเทศชาติเนี่ยสิ่งที่ผมได้รับรางวัลคือสิ่งนี้
The latest scandal that has been in the top headlines is about the involvement of Thai police in aiding and abetting criminal activities of the Chinese mafia. They were even supplying motorcade protection for the gangsters. You can't make this stuff up.
พบรถคล้ายกับรถของสถานทูตรวมทั้งมีรถตำรวจนำขบวนอีก1 คัน
In another incriminating CCTV clip, they are seen raiding a fake consulate residence run by the triads and extorting almost 10 million baht in cash from the Chinese criminals. You can guess what that money will be buying later, can't you? Tickets the size of elephants are expensive, people. So, pay up! It's been 8 years since the last coup. The new constitution is rigged with undemocratic laws. We haven't had a free and fair election. The entire Senate is appointed by the junta and has major powers to vote on the appointment of the Prime Minister and striking down laws and amendments proposed by elected representatives. Of course, all military chiefs and police chiefs are also senators by default. Criminals appointing criminals. Criminals in law enforcement costumes acting like criminals, never being held accountable for their actions since the system is infected from top to bottom. It all goes back to what my dad said that fateful day. They murdered democracy, and they did so without impunity. And why am I putting the police on the spot here instead of the military? They're the ones with the big guns and the tanks and the massive budget and all the conscripts. Well, of course, the military will someday be put to trial. But I focus on the police today because they are the ones operating closest to citizens. They work among us. One can walk into a police station. One has to deal with the police on the roads. One tries to turn to the police when one is robbed or scammed or assaulted. They're just here. We as citizens feel closer and depend a lot more on our police. The military is completely useless to us, more like a parasite entity that sucks our taxes and takes our sons away from us and makes indentured slaves of them for 2 years. The military doesn't even defend the borders anymore. They will let the Burmese fighter jets cross over the border in order to attack their own citizens at the border area. The Navy took our sons as conscripts and put them in a war vessel that was leaky. They didn't even have enough life jackets. They drowned. What the f***? It hurts so much more when the police act like assholes.
นี่งูล้มมามอไซค์ล้มไปแถวเลยพอพี่เบาๆเบาๆ
Thai police are investigating the case of a Taiwanese actress who claimed of being extorted 20,000 baht during a trip to Bangkok. In a recent post, Taiwanese actress
Is there a way out of this mess? I don't know. But one thing is clear. These people must be held accountable before any other one of these guys can be held accountable. Because this guy isn't supposed to be sitting there just looking like an asshole. His job is to arrest these motherfuckers.